morning, everyone. Good morning.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, hump day. All right, over the hump day. In the last couple of days, we've talked about addiction, types of addiction. Yesterday was gambling. The day before that was, memory. Are we getting older? Wow. I forgot the initial addiction. Food addiction. Because I love eating. That's right. So we had a food addiction, we had gambling. So today we're going to talk about what's been popular in the news is sex addiction, okay? Which is, again, meeting a need, tragically. You're getting something out of it, otherwise you wouldn't do it. Now, it's addiction to sex, they say. However, there's really no joy. It's compulsive, right? So those of you who have enjoyed the sexual experience know when it's with someone you care about, it's a whole different experience. This is not like that. This is about getting a need fulfilled rapidly or compulsively to where you're actually using another person to fulfill a void possibly in your world. Just to let you know, I used to supervise sex offenders for 3 years. So I've heard many stories. I've worked in the clinics with sex offenders, and I decided to really ask them what it was about the sexual compulsion that drove them to do what they did, be it porn, be it partner after partner after partner. So what I uncovered was something went back again to that childhood experience. And here's an example. 9-year-old boy, one of my clients was addicted to porn. Well, why was he addicted to porn? Well, guess what? When he was 8, 9, and 10, that was the time his father used to sit him down and they would watch porn together. So that was the moment that was ingrained in his head where I have connection with my main caretaker, the guy who cares for me, the guy who I want to love me. And so now he associates connection with porn. So he takes that moment and applies it to the adult world. And this went on with other clients, kids who were looking at porn to they were the king of their own world because they were bullied in school. So going on to the video, and they could make up their own fantasy about who they are and what they can do. So that was another experience that I saw, working with these individuals. So addiction, again, like all, I don't like that word, but we'll use the word addiction like the other ones we talked about before, is getting a need met tragically. Now, here's what gets me. This is what gets under my skin. When we're talking about Harvey Weinstein, right? About his sexual advances against women for the past 30 years. All right? So now he says he's going to see a sex addiction coach or get treatment. Well, is it really sex that he was after? But what was was it the sex, or was it the underlying thing, power? All right? He was in a powerful position. These were actresses and actors at young ages that wanted what he had. He makes films. Well, I want to be an actress. I want to be an actor. Well, what do you have to do to get there? Well, guess what? Maybe this could be your defining moment if you acquiesce to my advances and partake. So,
But the question is this.
What is the question?
Is he really a sex addict, or is he using the word sex addict to be able to get out of whatever, political things that could happen to him, or the fact that he was fired?
Okay,
that's the question.
So you heard it from our audience member, that is he using it, is he a sex addict, or is he using it to get out of the predicament he got himself into?
Right.
That's the question. Sex addict, I don't see him use a sex addict, meaning he's going from person to person to compulsively, right, to fulfill his void of self-worth, usually. Power is what I gain from this. It's power. I have what you want, and therefore I want to control you. I want to have a say in you. I want to dictate what I can do with your future. So there's something going on there. All right, it's all about power. Now we're going to go to another individual. Pains me. Tiger Woods. All right. Was he a sex addict? He said he was after 18 women came up and said, he had his way with them. Well, guess what? Here's what I know and what I've read. He saw his father, right? Cheat on his wife for years. So guess what's in his head? What is his image of women? Does he respect them? That's for him. I'm just going by what people experience and what they bring to the adult world. So now he says he's a sex addict. No, again, that too was probably self-expression. Controlled environment, golf all day long. From the age 3 all the way up. Seeing his father do what he did. His impression of women, his what else would we see here? His impression of women, what he thinks of them. So we have all these components we can add to the equation to equal why we do what we do. So Mr. Weinstein getting a need met for power, Mr. Woods getting a need met for maybe his maybe self-worth and choice.
Lack of control environment.
Yeah, choice, which has to do with control. When you are in a controlled environment, you don't have choice. So guess what you get to do once you release once you get out of the environment. And I had a lot of people who grew up in the church, in a controlled environment. I had many of these clients who grew up in church, going to church 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week. All of a sudden, they're let out to just see the world, and it's a big candy store. And they want to try a lot of things. Does it make them compulsive, or does that make them trying to catch up for what they didn't get a chance to do, or segue into those experiences as they got older? So this thing we call sex addiction, what happens? It's the same thing. It's almost parallel to gambling and food addiction and all the other addictions. Is that there are consequences that happen. You lose your wife, you lose your children. You could put yourself in financial jeopardy. It could be embarrassing. You could get yourself in all kinds of situations that are not life beneficial. So that being said, what I do with that is use the 7-step process to get people to understand where that comes from. And one thing I do is this: I never talk about what you do. I talk about why it starts in the first place. Because we're looking for something. Anytime we have to exaggerate an expression, we have to exaggerate a behavior, we're trying to compensate for something that we never got, that we never experienced, that we're trying to make up for, compensate for. So that being said, we try to balance it out. And what happens? It usually tilts the scale the other way. And then you have a destructive / life diminishing experience and you have collateral damage. So the addiction, think about it. Are you addicted? What's that again?
The topic, what are we dealing with today?
Yeah,
Sex addiction.
the topic is sex addiction. Do you know someone who is? Do you see the signs? So, it's just something to be aware of. Addiction, the addiction is a compulsive behavior to make up or to compensate for something we probably never got in the past. That's all that is. So we're meeting a need. What's the need? Again, we do that need thing. And I'm really big on this need. Well, what are you needing? Okay. That being said, so what we have here is a 7-step bulletproof program to get you to understand the why of your behavior, to make sense of it all, to put it into perspective, to take the blame and shame off of you and just gain some understanding and say, this is why I do what I do, so what can we do to change that? And to shrink, the behavior, to shrink the shame and not have you carry that with you into into your present day world. And we want to, in our present day world. So we want to thank Nicole Jones. Okay, congratulations on graduation. Congratulations on your, your master's degree. We appreciate that. I really appreciate your journey. I remember you in Starbucks when I was going to grad school, and you were a sophomore. All right, Givens, you need to be at work. I have things I got to get done. I have questions. Okay? Yeah, exactly. So I'll see you there promptly at 8 o'clock. I have OD today. Exactly. Okay? Yeah, I ain't getting out of this one. So, oh, by the way, guess what? Remember this? Right? Well, guess what? I finally finished it. This is my workbook. All right, so this is finally getting done. I think I'm more proud of this in the book. I don't know. For some reason, I have interesting, but I'm really. It hits you right over the head about changing your life, getting you to see the behavior so you can change it. And the title is "When Nobody's Home: Understanding Human Behavior." So I'm really proud of that. So I got so many. These little typos keep popping up, and it frustrates me. So we keep going over it, another typo and over it. So we're trying to make it perfect or perfect as we can.
Sick.
You ain't sick. So that being said, that'll be the next phase of the final step, and when nobody's home. So hopefully I gave some insight about this sex addiction. Always remember, go behind the scenes about someone's behavior. Just don't look at it for face value. Just understand, why does somebody do that behavior? Where does it come from? What did they see back in the day? Okay? So I got to get to work, or I'm going to get, written up. So let's see how many lives I can change today. So I appreciate you all tuning in. Have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, day 4, the new topic will be, this is from my producer, I don't have an earpiece.
Oh, maybe drug and alcohol.
Oh, we'll do drug and alcohol addiction. How about that, huh? So that'll be tomorrow. Tomorrow, drug and alcohol. I think I can talk about something like that. I have some ideas. Okay? So have a great day. Enjoy your day, and peace out.